I'm Spiro Ken, and this is Comcast Newsmakers. We're not on our set locally. We're up here in Tallahassee in the Senate office building right off the rotunda out back. And we're talking about different types of children's issues during Children's Week. And from District 29 in Broward County and Palm Beach County, we have Senator Chris Smith on the set. And it's always a pleasure to have you here, Senator.
Welcome back to Tallahassee and welcome to the Senate.
A little cooler outside than it was in the past. But
well, we started early this year.
We're here in January, and because the reason you started early is because the redistricting taking place up here. Big priority for the legislature. Do children's issues sometimes take a back seat when we do this once every 10 years?
Unfortunately so. In a redistricting year, we go with redistricting and then budget and then maybe other issues. And we're at such a critical time right now in our country and in our state and our communities when it comes to children's issues that I'm a little concerned that those issues have taken a back seat.
Again, the budget is something, and this goes along with children's issues, the governor's commitment for $1 billion towards education. I know that's weighing on everybody's mind.
Yes, and I'm glad that the governor stepped forward and said we're going to replace $1 billion back into education. And there are other ancillary issues with that. Besides the education budget, we're talking the health care budget. I mean, dental services for kids and eye care for kids, and also pre-K for kids and early learning for kids. There are a lot of other issues besides just the K through 12 budget that we need to make sure we have dollars to take care of kids, because in a bad economy, everything flows down and kids are at the bottom of the ladder. And so we need to make sure that those kids are taken care of in this budget.
You've always been a big proponent for different types of children's issues. What are some of your priorities this session?
Well, I've been dealing with juvenile justice issues. I think what's happened in the last couple of years, we've criminalized, as I like to say, we've made misdemeanors out of misbehavior. And a lot of these issues are following kids as they go through life. And so we're trying to tail back and put some preventive programs in before kids get in trouble. There's an issue with Senator Altman that I've been working with for years. He has a great issue about a booster seat for kids. I have a toddler. I have a 5-year-old. And I have a booster seat because it's important. This is a bill that we focus on every year, and I'm trying to help him with that to protect our kids.
Right. And I know there's one bill out there that tries to make sense out of the mandatory sentencing that takes place, and in some cases, maybe ill-deserved by some children, all on a case-by-case basis.
Yes, I mean, there are some kids that, we need to protect society from, but then most kids we need to protect from society. And a lot of issues in this tough on crime, we've gone a little far, and we see now that kids are being arrested in schools and kids are being arrested for things, and that follows them for the rest of their lives. It follows them when they're trying to get into college. It follows them when they're trying to get a job. It creates a stigma on them, and so luckily we're starting to dial back from that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that the mood among state legislators and law enforcement was rehabilitation for juveniles. Is that changing a bit with all the mandatory sentences?
It changed the last couple of years, but we're changing it back now. Last couple of years, it was tougher, minimum mandatories. But now we've seen so many instances around the state where you get a simple incident and the judge's hands are tied, and you see a straight-A student who had a bad day and did something bad are now in jail. And is that better for society?
Or met the wrong person or a boyfriend.
Young women in the state are just really getting in a lot of trouble with their association with bad boys, and we find that's becoming epidemic now with young ladies getting in criminal justice system.
And we're not talking about Will Smith and Martin Lawrence here.
No.
All right, well, thanks so much, Senator. And I know that this is going to be an interesting session with the budget the way it is, and a $2 billion shortfall, as well as the commitment by the governor for $1 billion in education.
And on behalf of my district, which is a inner city district, I want to thank Comcast for your work towards the digital divide. I mean, in my community, a lot of the kids in the inner city schools do not have that internet access, and that puts them at a disadvantage with other kids. And what Comcast is doing with bridging the digital divide and bringing more internet access to the communities that I serve, I really appreciate it. It's going a long way.
It's definitely our pleasure. Thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you.
Senator Chris Smith from District 29, our guest this hour on Comcast Newsmakers as we come to you from Tallahassee. We thank you for joining us.